Okay, guys, so the time right now is 11:02, and I'll be starting my H2 physics taster course right now. So, yeah, so good morning, everybody. I'm Toshin. Yes. And yeah, today I'm gonna talk about some, like one of the topics in H2 physics. And this topic I'll be going through really briefly because, like, I really find it no point explaining to you guys, like, in a very detailed level. Yeah, so I'm gonna show you guys like how actual physics conduct will be happening in JC levels. First, introduce myself. I'm Toshin, and can be addressed as Daniel. So yes, I graduated from ASR JC in 2020. So currently 19 years old in serving national service. Yeah, so yeah, I was from Anderson Serangoon Junior College, and the subject combination that I took was PCME. So it's the basic PCME that you can find like every day. Yeah. So the uni course that I'm taking in NUS, right, is data science and analytics in 2023. But I'm still like how do I put it in? I'm still like exploring my hobbies. So I might be going for teaching scholarship and yeah, become a teacher in the future. So assisting me today will be Gareth. Gareth is my friend as well. Yeah. He graduated from Diamond High in 2020. So any IP students, if you got any questions about what's the difference between IP physics or anything related to that, you can ask him in the Q&A in the menti.com later. And I'm from a normal neighborhood school. So if you guys got any questions on physics, like the difference between physics in O level and A level, you can just ask me. Just post any questions and I'll gladly answer them. I'll do my best and answer them. Yeah. Okay, let me proceed. So today, right, we'll be talking about dynamics. So dynamics is one of the content in H2 physics in A level syllabus. So yeah. So hold up. Okay, so actually dynamics, right? What I'm going to talk about today is all about Newton's law. So I'm pretty sure like all of you have learned about like Newton's law in secondary school, in your IP schools. So it's quite common to like honestly physics is all about Newton's law. Like you can never miss out Newton's law in physics because it's one of the like fundamentals that you guys need to know. So yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure you guys have learned about Newton's first law and third law. Yeah, and in addition, right, there will be a new Newton's law, which is Newton's second law. And yeah, and the next thing I'm gonna talk about today is the conservation of momentum, which I'm gonna like, introduce to you guys in a short while. So yeah, let's proceed. So momentum is I'm pretty sure this momentum, right, is a new term that is gonna be taught in JC. So as usual, right, there's always definition for each syllabus. So momentum symbol will be P. Some schools call it P, some schools call it rho, depends. So it doesn't really matter. It's just a symbol. Yeah. And to whichever school you're gonna go to, right? Different school got different way of like um expressing like how do I say just saying like momentum is P, momentum is rho. So it doesn't really matter. So at the end of the day, right, you don't have to really say out. So yeah, it's just a symbol. So as usual, there's definition. So I'm sure that all of you, right, knows that like there's those kind of definition questions in national exams. So those kind of questions are the easiest questions to score. It's 3 marks for you. So yeah, here's the definition. Linear momentum is defined as a product of the mass and velocity of the body. So make sure all of you remember the definition of this because it can be a 3 marks in your exam papers. So yeah, uh, moment by knowing this definition, right, it will also help you. This is the fundamental of some of the Newton's law. So you have to really know your fundamentals before you actually answer questions. So always fall back to the fundamentals. So yeah, so mathematically, P is equals to mv. P stands for momentum equals to mass times velocity. So I'm pretty sure all of you know what's velocity. Velocity is just speed, but just in a specific direction. So yeah, so basically, you have to remember the definition, and there's also the formula for you to understand. So this is quite important because there's a lot of questions in A levels, right, that you use this kind of formulas. Yeah. So next is the change of momentum. Change of momentum is equals to final momentum minus initial momentum, or rather final momentum plus bracket minus initial momentum. So since all of you guys know that momentum is a vector quantity, so the plus minus signs does makes the difference. So the difference in sign is just determines the direction of motion. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys have learned it during O levels. Yeah, and this will be quite the difference in the plus minus sign, right? It's commonly found in A levels. So don't be too shocked about it. And yeah, simple mistakes can be made. Yeah. So let's go on to Newton's first law of motion. So I'm pretty sure you guys have also learned in O levels. So actually the difference between O level physics and A level physics, right? There's not much difference, actually. You guys will still learn those kind of Newton's law of motion. It's just that you guys will be learning more deeply into the topic and new terms will be introduced to you. Yeah. So as usual, memorize the definition of Newton's first law of motion because there may be questions during A levels. Yeah. So yeah, Newton's first law of motion, in the absence of resultant force acting on it, a body at rest will remain at rest and a body in motion will continue in motion at constant velocity. So mass is the property of a body which resists the change in its motion. Inertia is the tendency of a body to stay in a state of rest or uniform motion. Mass is a base quantity used to measure the inertia of a body. So I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with this topic, this Newton's law of motion. So yeah, so let me just carry on. Now, this is the Newton's second law of motion is a new law of motion that is not taught in O level secondary school. So this will be taught in A levels. And this second law of motion is actually quite tricky because as I said, everything falls back to the fundamentals. So the fundamentals behind this second law of motion is the term momentum that I introduced to you earlier on. So yes. So as usual, memorize the definition because it's very, very important. Yeah. So yeah, the rate of change of momentum of a body is proportional to the resultant force which acts on the body. And the momentum change takes place in the direction of resultant force. Over here you can see that it's a vector quantity. Vector quantity. So yeah, the definition is very, very important because the questions that you guys are gonna do, right, all falls back on the definition of Second's law of motion. So over here you can see the equation. Force force of A on B is force of A on B is proportional to the change in momentum of B. dP dt stands for change in momentum of body B. So let me derive the equation for you guys. So from over here, right, you can see, right, FAB is equals to K dP over dt of B, which is equals to change its momentum due to time of B, which is also sorry, which is also equals to so if you guys don't understand, it's okay. It's just that I'm just going to show you like how this equation here is derived from these kind of steps. So there are many like derivation of equations that you guys need to know in JC as well because they may ask you. So it's not just blindly memorizing the equation itself. You have to understand how does this equation, how does this derivation leads to this equation. Like you get my point, right? Yeah. So you guys have learned about F equals to MA in secondary school. Yeah, this is actually linked to this. So there are many things that you can link from secondary school to JC. So yeah, please don't be surprised. Yeah. Next is impulse. Impulse is another small subtopic under dynamics. So impulse, yes, memorize the definition over here. I'm not gonna read it because you guys can see. Yeah, so impulse of a force is the product of the average force and the time during which it acts on it. So impulse is also the area under FT curve, which you can see in the graph below. Yeah. So this kind of impulse question, right, is one of the easiest question that you can score in JC. Like you cannot get this wrong because it's literally 3 marks for you. So yeah, but as you can see, right, you must read the definition clearly. It's not just area under this graph. It's the product of average force and the time during which it acts on it. So over here, average force, let's take it as the middle. This is the average force, right? So we have to find the area under graph. So this part of the graph can be transformed to here. And this part of the graph can be put to here. So it's just area of this rectangle. So yeah, under this topic, there will be a lot of graph questions. So don't be surprised. It's like physics and math are both related. So if you take math, then physics should be okay for you and can be easier for you. Yeah. Uh, Before I move on, right, the formula that I introduced to you before, which is force proportional to dp over dt. This can be this can be presented into a graph as well. So for example, like is the momentum time graph. So for example, this is the curve. So if I want to find the force of A on B, I just need to take the gradient of, for example, this point. I just need to take the gradient of this line, find the gradient of this line, and I'll get the force of A on B. So many things are like linked to each other. And this can be clearly explained why the impulse is the area under FT curve. So I can maybe let me just show you how does it relate to like how are both of these equations relate to each other. So let me just write on the top. Force equals to change in momentum due to time, and due to some like mathematics, right? I'm pretty sure you guys know. Change in momentum is equals to F times T. So this can be seen here. So yeah, I think you guys can see like a bit of linkage between these two equations. So yeah, it's okay if you guys don't understand. It's just like a very brief introduction of this topic only. Yeah. So carry on. Moving on is Newton's third law of motion. I'm pretty sure you guys know this law of motion as well. Many things are related from secondary school to JC. So yeah, you guys can take a look at the definition. But important things are these characteristics. So in order to determine whether this pair is the action reaction pair, right, it must fulfill all these 4 criteria. So the first one is that they are equal in magnitude, means if A exerts a 8 Newton force on B, then B should exert 8 Newton force on A. So yeah, if they are in opposite direction, which means that if, let me give you 2 examples. Let's say this is ball A, ball B, right? A should exert a force on B, and B exerts a force on A. So this is opposite in direction. And it must be from different bodies. A on B, B on A, different bodies. And they arise from the same type of interaction. So what do I mean by same type of interaction? For example, the same type of interaction can be refers to gravitational force. Like both must comes from gravitational force. Both must come from electric force. So actually this is a common mistake that many people make. Like usually people don't consider the type of interaction when trying to determine whether this pair is action reaction pair. So I'm pretty this point, right, is very important. So yeah, there are very small little mistakes you can make in physics which can affect the final answer of your final answer. So yeah, please take note of these small little things. Yeah. So next is the conservation of momentum. So this is a new term that will be introduced to you guys in H2 physics. So when bodies in a system interacts, the total momentum remains constant provided no resultant external force acts on the system. So understanding the definition of this is very, very important because, okay, in my opinion, right, whenever I find difficulties in answering question, I will always fall back to the definition of the term because the definition of term is very okay. It looks easy, but it actually like shows you the fundamentals of how to answer these kind of questions. You guys know where I'm coming from, right? Yeah. So this is the equation that all of you need to take note of, and which is the summation of P initial is equal to the summation of P final. So if I'm not wrong, you guys have learned summation in math. It's just that the total initial momentum, like you add up all the momentum, is equals to the add up all the final momentum. It should tally with each other. So yeah. So yeah, this is the derivation of conservation of momentum. So you cannot just simply memorize the equation that I showed you before, which is summation of P initial equals to summation of P final. You cannot just simply memorize this. You have to understand the derivation of conservation of momentum. And some schools say that this is in syllabus, some schools say that this is not in syllabus. So to me, it's best for you to not just memorize the equation and know how to derive from scratch. Because like I'm pretty sure they will ask you this kind of question and it's also 3 marks. Probably sometimes it's 3 to 4 marks and it's a very, very easy question to score. So yeah. So how does this conservation of momentum links to Newton's law, right? As you can see, both Newton's second law and third law have to be used. So according to Newton's third law, force of A on B is equals to force of B on A. So um I'm pretty sure you guys can tell from the equation. Yeah. And by Newton's second law, right, dP over dt D is equals to minus dP over dt A. So this is the rate of change of momentum. So for falling back to the definition of Newton's second law, the rate of change of momentum is proportional to the resultant force. And that is why this comes from here. So the minus sign just determines the direction. So in order to make them the same direction, right, we introduce the minus sign so that both of them are in the same direction. Yeah. So slowly you can see how these things are derived. And yeah, this is the this is like some of the things you will learn in dynamics. And it seems to be an easy topic, but actually it's not. But it can be a topic that you can excel in it because it's just math. Yeah, it's just math. If you're good in math, I'm pretty sure you can be good in this topic as well. So yeah, I've come to the end of this brief lesson on dynamics. So once again, right, I apologize for not going through like more detailed level because I feel that there's no point in telling you guys like a lot of things about dynamics, and I just want you guys to get a sensing of like what's the difference between physics in secondary school and JC level. So yeah. Okay, first question. You mentioned that dynamic is a topic that is just like math. May I ask if there are any topics in particular that are not math, like involves complex theories? Because I'm worried about those. Okay. Yeah, there are actually topics that like are very confusing. Like for example, mm, quantum physics is actually very, very confusing because I'm not sure if you heard about quantum physics, but uh okay, yeah, there's a topic, last few topics called quantum physics, and it's very confusing in a sense that they are all theories. So there are no right and wrong answer sometimes. That's how I feel. And yeah, yeah, it's all theories. And it's linked to Newton's law as well. And there's very little math involved in the topic. And honestly speaking, how I do well in that topic, right? Usually, okay, since there are many theories in the topic, I'll just memorize and try to understand. Some things don't make sense in the topic, while some things make sense. And I think the reason why quantum physics is one of the last few topics to be taught in H2 physics is because once you learn the topic, you'll find out that, hey, why does this not, when I apply this into another topic, why does it not make sense? So yeah, so when you learn quantum physics, right, there are many topics like there are many topics like superposition. You will find it confusing. So yeah. And there's also the last common topic that my batch, like the Cambridge didn't test us on. So I'm pretty sure that's quite difficult as well. So yeah, so to conclude, right, most of the last few topics, they're not really math related, and they can be very confusing. But once you do more questions on those topics, I'm pretty sure you can try to get a hang of it, and it'll be easy because like most question repeats itself. And in my opinion, when I do many school papers, right, most schools ask almost the same questions about certain topics. So yeah, once you keep if you keep practicing and doing many papers, you'll find that, hey, these are the common type of questions that Cambridge will ask, schools will ask. And yeah, I'm pretty sure you can do it. Yeah. Okay, next. How much memorization is involved in H2 physics? Is it like 3 or 4 definitions per lesson, or is there like a lot? Okay, in my opinion, I feel like there's a lot of for memorization. Okay. I don't understand what do you mean by memorization. Is it the memorization of the definitions, or memorization of like equations? So for definitions, right, there are actually quite a lot of memorization of definition, and you have to do it because uh there are many there are many definition questions in Cambridge papers. So okay, there are not many, but you can score them very easily. So why waste that few marks away, right? So yeah, definitely there'll be memorization involved, a lot of memorization involved in H2 physics. And for the definition part, right, I must say there are quite a few definitions per lesson for the first few topics because it's all math related. Yeah. And there are also like, okay, for example, just now when I was deriving the equation for conservation of linear momentum, right? There are some equations along the way that can be used in certain type of question. So like yeah. Gareth, can you like answer this as well?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, can.
Yeah, so basically, right, I feel for physics, there are two ways to approach it. One, you can thoroughly understand and then derive the memorization through your understanding of the subject and the topics. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is purely based on memorization. So you memorize
Mm,
the concepts, memorize everything. Then from there, then you use it to solve the questions. So it's up to personal preference. And
mm,
I feel that the understanding way is a lot better because that allows you to solve both the quantitative questions and the qualitative questions.
mm. Yeah. Okay, I kind of agree to that also. But I would strongly advise you not to like just like purely memorize. Cause you can start since y'all can start like practicing from the very start and try to understand as much as you can. Because I don't feel like it's good for you to purely memorize. Because if you panic during exams, right, you'll be like, oh my god, I cannot think of this, I cannot think of that. But if you really go and understand how certain equations are being derived, then slowly you can still get back to the question. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hopefully this answer your questions. Uh, Whoa, okay. How to self-study physics concepts before school starts? Um, personally for me, personally for me lah. Cause I come from a neighborhood secondary school. Like my physics is always like quite trash. So how do I prepare myself for JC is that I make sure that my secondary school pure physics content like are absolutely solid. Like I understand and I understand each for example in this topic, I understand each Newton's law of motion, understand each equation, understand like yeah, you just have to really, really go and understand. And you can try practice some physics questions because secondary school physics are actually highly linked to JC physics. So you have to, if you score very well in secondary school physics, then I'm pretty sure you will do okay and do well for JC physics. And for IP, Gareth, can you answer on the IP portion?
Okay, so actually for IP, right, it's a pretty good uh track, because in IP they will build you up for the A level subject. So some stuff they remove like some unnecessary topics that's not related to A levels, then they will build your foundation for the topics that are in A levels, such as like dynamics, kinematics, yeah, all these are.
Okay. Okay, next question. What are some study techniques and habits that you have? Gareth, would you like to answer this first? Yeah.
Okay, for study techniques and habits, right? I think okay, so for physics, I feel that almost all the topics are interrelated. They all have a link between each other. So basically, physics, right? It's just there are two approaches to physics. One is either force or energy. Everything can be linked to either force or energy. So as long as you are solid in both of them, or actually don't even need to be solid in both of them, you just need to be solid in one of them and make sure your fundamentals are good, right? Then that's fine. So for study techniques, I would just I'll just advise you to, when like let's say after you finish a lecture or something, right, just kind of read up. You don't have to aggressively study for it. Just read up to make sure you are like it's in your head lah. So like all the formulas, everything, yeah, it's just like it's still in your brain, so you don't lose it. Because once you lose it, it's hard to get back because everything's related.
Mm. Okay,
Consistency,
so
consistency.
yeah, consistency. Yeah, that must agree. So for me, it's like after every lecture, right? Yeah, same as Gareth. I will also read up my notes and try to start memorizing those kind of definition that you need to memorize lah. So if you start from the start, I'm pretty sure, and you'll be consistent. If you are consistent all the way, right? Then I'm pretty sure you can actually score very well in it. Yeah. So some study techniques and habits that I also have is that I will consistently do 10-year series questions and other school papers. So for other school papers, right? Honestly, every school have their own way of crafting questions. So for example, I'm pretty sure like those um I'm pretty sure RI, Hua Chong, all those papers, right? The schools will set very, very hard questions. And for those like for those people who are going to those like not for example like normal JC range, like those schools, yeah, you'll find it very, very difficult to answer those kind of questions because these questions are actually very, very hard. But it's also a good way in a sense that you can see how certain questions are being phrased, how certain topics are being asked in a question. So yeah, Hua Chong and RI, right? If I'm not wrong, they actually craft many innovative questions that actually put me to struggle during my JC period lah. So for TYS, right, I would advise you not to do TYS solely because honestly speaking, A level physics TY, like all those questions on TYS, right, they are not very, very hard. And they are actually doable compared to school papers. Because school papers, they are prepared to prepare you for the exam. And TYS is just like okay, after you do those like many JC school papers, right, you'll find that TYS is actually quite easy. You'll be like in shock lah, like wait, how is it so easy to answer these kind of questions, like etc. Yeah. So to conclude, just be consistent in your work. Practice practice physics almost every day, like math. Cause physics is like math to me. So yeah, I practice it almost like every day. Try my best to memorize the definitions of those that need to be memorized, and try to understand the equation instead of memorizing the equation from scratch. If you have time, just understand it from scratch, and it wouldn't cause you any harm. And yeah, and do more school papers and read their answer schemes, because like different school of have different way of answering certain questions, and you can apply these different techniques in A level papers as well. So yeah. So actually, I've also my tutor in JC, right? He also teach me like um try to do a mind map of certain topic. For example, like one A4, one blank A4 paper, right? Just do a mind map on this topic. Honestly, mind map don't work for me. That's why I didn't do. But I'm telling you guys because maybe some of you like you may find mind map helpful for you. So yeah, you can do a mind map. So before the paper, maybe like 3 hours before the paper, when you wake up, you just like look at the mind map, refresh your content, and yeah, you're good to go. Yeah, if not, just yeah, if you practice physics every day, then don't be scared. You can do well in it, man. Yeah. Okay. For practice, was the practice given by JCs enough, or did you find yourself buying papers separately? Gary, would you like to answer this question first?
For this question, right, actually it really differs from JC to JC because I know like friends from other JCs, it varies. So some schools really give you a lot of papers, like they try to like prepare you and they just keep giving you other school papers, but some actually you have to go and find yourself. For my school, they actually gave us a compilation of common questions plus difficult questions in a booklet, so we can go and do ourselves and the answer keys and everything. Yeah. So actually is you have to enter your JC, then you have to like see how and see what your department is like capable of. See if they are willing to put in effort to give you all more papers and everything. But I would say that it should be enough because honestly, there isn't a need to do many papers because after a while you realize that for physics especially, many questions are actually repeated. The concepts are the same. It's just that you have to apply in a different way. Yeah, but the context is different. Yeah, but the concepts are the same.
Okay, so in my opinion, for me, right, yeah, I agree with what girls say. Like different JC has different way of like they will give different amount of practice papers. So personally, for from what I know, right, for those from people, for my friends in ASRJC, SAJC, CJC, all that, actually the schools give them like different practice paper nearer to A levels, I must say. Maybe for JC2 around June, July, August, then they start giving like a whole stack of practice papers, which I feel like honestly is for me it's quite too late. It's like too late. Yeah, because like you cannot just suddenly give us like practice paper all of a sudden, like nearer to A levels, and you expect us to like try to complete it before we do TYS before A levels. So yeah, for me, I actually went online and not buy lah, but there are some website that now I forgot what website. Okay, I'm not like promoting this website. Okay, never mind. I just went online and try to find practice paper from different schools and try to do as many as I can. Yeah, and yeah, sometimes I also ask my friends from Hwa Chong, RI, Dunman to like actually like lend me their papers so that I can do uh yeah, yeah. So yes, correct. Or or I can suggest that if you want to do like more practice papers, right, from like other schools, you can actually personally ask your tutor in JC, see whether they can provide for you. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure like most JC tutors, right, they have access to almost like all the different kind of um practice papers from different JCs. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. But you must like tell them, like you must show to them that yeah, you're prepared to do every question, like every practice paper, man. Like if you're unprepared, right, I'm pretty sure like they will say something like I mean that's for me they will say something like I don't think you're well prepared to do practice paper. If you do practice paper, it'll be waste of papers. Like it'll be waste of time for you because you're not learning also. So before you do practice paper, let me just say again, get your fundamentals, make sure your fundamentals are there, and make sure you are really um confident in each topic. And yeah, because practicing practice paper is just to enhance your skills, hone your thinking skills, all that. And yeah, so that yeah, know when is the right time to do practice paper, and not just let them go to waste. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. I'm sure if I take H2 physics or H2 chems, one as a hybrid combi, I'm unsure. Okay. Is there any Thai extra advantage physics that will help? There, is there any Thai extra advantage physics has that would help me make my decision? Gareth, would you like to answer this question first? Yeah, because I need to think.
I don't take a hybrid combi, but mm, okay, flexibility wise, right? I would actually say chemistry, because chemistry opens up a lot more options, especially if you're looking towards a science degree, yeah, in university. That's what I feel. But then again, it also has to be, you have to follow what are your interests, because both topics are quite specialized, and if studying is a chore, then it becomes quite hard to study because you lose your motivation, and yeah, you lose interest in a subject, then you won't work as hard for it. But then again, I would, if it's for practicality's sake, then chemistry. Yeah.
Okay, for me, right, yeah, I agree with Gareth. Like, it actually depends on like what kind of uni course that you want to go to, cause some uni course like they look more on H2 chem, some uni course they prefer H2 physics. So you have to actually like do some research on like what is needed for your uni course before you choose your subject combi. And if you're good in math, right, honestly, I would like suggest you to take H2 physics, because as I said, physics is like closely related to math. If you're good in math, you can do well in physics as well. And personally for me, of course I'll encourage you to take H2 physics. Like, because how do I put it in words? Physics, right? You can see physics almost like every day in life. You can actually like relate to physics more than you can relate to chem lah. Yeah, so yeah, I mean that's actually for me. So yeah, but otherwise, I feel like H2 chem. Um, okay, if you're those kind of people that you can memorize things very easily, yeah, then go for H2 chem, because I'm pretty sure that, okay, I'm sure that H2 chem, right, you have to memorize more things than in physics. Like, yeah, or if you're good at math, then take H2 physics. Yep. Okay, what is your study routine like? Do you mind describing your day, weekday, and weekend? Um, oh, Gareth, would you like to answer this first? Yeah. Okay, okay. Why don't I answer it first? Okay. What is my study routine like? Honestly, right? Um, wow. Um, it actually differs day to day. So when I'm extremely motivated, right? Okay, let me just share some like life story about myself. So in J1, right? I actually didn't study that much until June. So usually the first common test, no, the first mid-year paper will be after June. So I didn't study until June because like I was having some like honeymoon period. You know, like J1, you go in, it's like honeymoon, you play for friends, orientation, this kind of shit. Like back then when there's no COVID lah. So like a party like madman. Then after that during June I'm like I panic. Then I'm like, oh shit, I haven't studied or something like that. Yeah. So that's when I was like damn motivated. I was like, okay, I designed a 10-hour study schedule. So it's kind of mad lah, 10 hours. So June holidays, right, it's holiday. So I'll wake up at around like 7, start studying at 8. So for example, each H2 topic, right, I'll take 3 hours to study. So 8 to 11, then 11 to 12 is lunch break, 12 to 3 is another H2 topic, 3 to 3:30 is like my tea break, 3:30 to 6:30 is another H2 topic, and then 6:30 to 7:30 is my dinner. And yeah, for H1 topic, right, I'll take 1.5 hours to like study lah. So that's almost like my study routine for that whole June. But it's quite bad in a sense that I fell sick 1 week before my mid year. So because I was completely burnt out. So guys, don't do this. Like don't like suddenly study so much until you burn out. Which is yeah, this is quite bad. So just slowly pick up the pace. Yeah. And honestly, don't worry. I must say don't worry. If you're consistent, right, don't worry about your results because at the end of the day, if you're consistent, your result will show that hey, you're consistent. Yeah, you cannot suddenly mark, then suddenly get like good grades. I mean, that's for me. But I do know some people that like suddenly mark, right? Mark them hard. Like maybe a few days before A's they start studying and then they score damn well for A's. But that only applies to some people. Yeah. If you know that you're not this kind of person, then yeah, don't do it. Just be consistent. Then yeah, then when school starts, right? When school starts, usually lessons for me will end about 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Then if I don't have CCA, I'll like study in school. Yeah, honestly, like just take 1 hour, 1.5 hour to study each. Okay, like depends lah. I usually I'll complete my tutorial first before I start studying. But during weekdays, right, it's quite hard for me to start studying. Because there are many tutorials that you have to do, which is due by like the next day or next few days. And yeah, but if I have time, I'll study like revise some things after completing my tutorials. Then during CCA days, like for example, I'm from like ultimate frisbee, so usually my CCA will start at 5 and at 8 plus, and then 8 plus, like those sports CCA, you always have those team dinner. Yeah, I'll have team dinner around until around 11. Then reach home around 12, something like that. Yeah, then I try to complete my tutorial. But yeah, that's a very bad like example of me. So guys, so please don't follow me for that. Yeah. Try to complete your tutorial during breaks. Like during breaks between lessons. So that yeah. But don't mark like hell also. Like try to like release your stress by talking, try to have fun and mark at the same time. Yeah, like 50-50. It's pretty hard, but if I can do it, so you guys can, man. Yeah. Then for weekend, yeah, weekend I do the same thing, the 10 hour study schedule. Like just study. I try to okay. So in Inkie learning, right, there's a Discord channel, right, where you can like actually talk to your friends. I mean you can study with people. So yeah, if you guys need like any study buddies, right, you can just join the Inkie learning Discord channel and really yeah ask people like, hey, anyone want to study? Don't be shy, cause everybody's friendly. Yeah, even us tutors, right? Sometimes we need to study, so we can join you guys and help you guys if you got any questions. Um, yeah. Gareth, what about you?
Okay, so I was from a sports CCA, so I get quite busy. Yeah, so 2 days out of the 5 days of my weekdays are taken up by CCA, so I end around like 9 p.m. Yeah, so
Mm,
that's like 2 days gone. But actually, it's honestly JC is just about squeezing time in. Yeah, like
yeah. Mm,
so in between lessons, right? Actually, you have quite a lot of free time. There's a lot of flexibility. So it's just how you want to use it. So let's say if I have a 1 hour break, just try to complete as much tutorials as I can. Like it's quite
mm,
tempting to not do anything, but if you actually squeeze in time,
mm,
right, you realize that you'll be free at the end of the day, which feels a lot better. Yeah. Then for weekends, my time was also taken up by CCA. So I just try to manage my time. Yeah, and honestly, the holidays are where like you should make full use of your time. Where like holidays you should actually try to study quite hard because that's when you actually have like a full block of like 1 month or like a week to study, and that helps a lot lah. Especially with like keeping up with especially like uh catching up with the concepts. Like some concepts you might not be familiar with, then you can go back and like revise on the concepts, then do your practices. Yeah, these two things quite important in JC.
Mm. Yeah. 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 That's about it lah. Yeah. And also you can try to, if you got any like queries, right, you can consult your tutors in between breaks. Yeah. But honestly, everyone's study routine is different. So you have to find one that suit you. Like, yeah, me and Gareth's example are just one of the few ways you can manage your time. But we are not like the perfect example that you guys should follow as well lah. So yeah. How to avoid burnout? I'm really slow at my work. And any tips, please? Oh wow. Okay, how to avoid burnout? Okay. As I said earlier, you cannot just straight away study like 10 hours a day. Like I'm pretty sure you guys will like feel the burnout like immediately. Not really immediately, but you'll feel like, yeah, you feel burnout lah. Like don't study so much suddenly. Start to like, for example, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Like it's a progressive way of studying. Yeah, and yeah, Gareth, do you have any tips for this?
Okay, so to avoid burnout, right, it's actually ironically, right, you should actually just play. So for okay, because during circuit breaker there's like a solid 2 months of like every day at home. Then that's when a lot of people like went crazy, then start playing and
All
everything.
right, right.
So yeah, actually to avoid burnout, right, it's just to fraction your time. So make sure that you leave this period of time for you to play and relax. Like I know it sounds quite dumb, but actually it helps a lot with the like your sustenance. So
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
something that I follow was actually you just treat studying like working a 9 to 5 job. So after 5 p.m., the time is yours. Just do whatever you want. And that helped me a lot because during that 9 to 5, I was actually quite focused. Because I know that at the end of after 5 p.m. is like my time. I can do whatever I want. Yeah, and that turned out quite well actually. So I think just make sure that you fraction your time properly. And in school is not that it's in school actually not that easy to burn out because in school you have your friends with you, then you have your CCA, then you have like a community of friends, and you actually look forward to going to school because
Mm,
you'll see them every day. Then it's quite fun actually in JC. Yeah,
mm.
so I think the burnout is especially when you study very hard in like big blocks of time, which you should actually avoid lah.
Yeah, I kind of agree to what Gareth said. Yeah, but just like a perfect example. Okay, for me, right, I don't think it's like 9 to 5 lah. I don't think you can finish work from 9 to 5. Cause, okay, let's be practical. Let's be like realistic. JC, you come JC, uh, to study lah. I mean, JC is actually quite uh challenging. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, for me, right, like honestly, right, I find it very hard to like find time for myself. Yeah, like because I'm a kind of person like I have like I need to spend time with my friends, family, do work, etc. So yeah, honestly, it's quite hard. It's really quite hard. So yeah, but try your best. But how do you find out whether you're gonna burn out, right? Like how do you feel whether you're gonna burn out or something, right? Is that you feel something like you feel very tired suddenly, and then even though how focused you want to be, right, may not be how it turns out. So, for example, like, hey, I want to study this, I want to study this, man. I need to study this, I need to do this. But then, yeah, you keep telling yourself that, but then your brain is not functioning, it's not processing as well as how it turns out. Lah. So, yeah, there's a period of time where I was like, I went out lunch with my friends. So I catered like 11 to 12 is my lunchtime. Then when I start eating with my friends at 11:30, I'm like, oh shit, I need to study at 12. I need to study at 12. So these kind of yes, these are signs, right, where things are actually going downhill. You're really going to burn out. So like yeah. So yeah. Okay. When there's a lot of work to do you feel unmotivated? If yes, how do you press on? Yeah, surely. When there's a lot of work, right, of like I'll feel unmotivated. Yes, that's true. I'll feel like, hey, like there's so many things to do. What am I gonna do? So sometimes for me, right, honestly, I just do what's best for me. For example, there are so many, because like tutors usually they will give you like many questions, like many practice papers. So honestly, you just do the practice. For example, on practice papers, right? Just do the practice paper. Just do the questions that you feel like you're not like comfortable in solving them, or you feel like you're not confident in solving them. So, so just pick certain uh kind of questions that, yeah, you feel uncomfortable and unconfident in solving them. If you're weak in certain topics, right, you can pick out those questions on certain topics and just do them. So yeah, that's how I usually do. And yeah, but still try to complete the tutorial that your tutors gave. Yeah, because for my case, when there's a period of time where my tutors gave a lot of tutorials, and I didn't really complete them on time. But yeah, I explain it to my tutors and they kind of understand. So sometimes you just need to explain it to your tutors. Pretty sure they understand, because yeah, JC is all about doing many tutorials. So yeah, oh, how do I press on? Okay, usually, right, okay, this might sound a bit nerd of me, but for me it's like, um to me, right, I will just keep thinking about like why I started in the first place, why I come JC in the first place. Yeah, so like, yeah, so how do I motivate myself is that, hey, I come JC because this is my future. This is my future. So if my so my okay, for my case, right, my parents like actually helped me through primary school, secondary school lah. So about JC is just I want it all about me. So like I care about my future, right? So I have to work hard for my future. So every time I feel like very unmotivated, right, I'll be like, wow, I need to do this for my future. This is my future. Only me, myself, and I can decide like on my future. Yeah. So yeah, honestly, right? Yeah. And there's another way how I motivate myself, like, it's like because I got an iPad. So usually I do work on my iPad and I find it like pretty cool. I don't know, I find it damn cool to like write notes on iPad. Okay, that might sound a bit nerdy, but yeah, that's me. I'm not nerdy, but yeah, that's me lah. Yeah. And then seeing my friends study also makes me feel motivated. So yeah, if I feel very unmotivated, I'll go for a run. Yeah, I'll play like ultimate frisbee, go for a run, do some sports. Then um yeah. But if you feel unmotivated, right, just type to any of the tutors in the Discord group. Pretty sure like all of us will motivate you. Like we'll study together with you and make you feel motivated. Yeah. Wait, Gareth, do you have any like anything to add on?
Uh, nah, I'm good, man.
Okay, honestly, guys, Gareth, right, he's just very unmotivated. Yeah. Okay. So what are y'all studying in uni? Oh, I'm studying NUS data science and analytics, because I heard that data data science is rising in the world, right? Like how to say, you can make good money. But for me, I'm still like exploring lah. I'm just securing a spot in uni, but I'm trying to apply. I'm looking forward to apply teaching scholarship next year, to cause I enjoy helping students. Not it's not. I mean, like, yes, students, because in JC I found out that cause I'm quite like hardworking and a bit smart guy, so usually people will come to me like for consults. Not consults, but help lah. So yeah, then I found out like, hey, I enjoy actually helping people, and I'm an extrovert kind of person lah. So I like talking a lot, and yeah, then yeah, I like helping. I like talking a lot. I like I like all these kind of things. So I'm I'm planning to take teaching. Yeah, I'm planning to teach in the future. Yeah. How about you, Gareth?
I'm studying quantitative finance. Yeah, NUS. Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. That's a good course. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Wait. There's last question. Oh wait. Maybe there's no. Oh wait. How to not procrastinate? Wow. Okay. So we have like 5 to 10 minutes left. So me and Gareth will just speed it through. How to not procrastinate? Oh, this is a very hard question, because like I'm pretty sure like many tutors procrastinate along the way. So it's quite inevitable. Inevitable. Yeah. you procrastinate sometimes because like you feel like I don't want to do this anymore. I want to give up. Yeah, but at the end of the day, right, I'm pretty sure if you get your shit together, you can do it, man. Like I don't know. Okay, guys, let me just recommend you guys like a YouTuber. You know Daniel. I don't know whether you guys know Daniel Tamago. Just watch his videos. It's actually like it's quite motivational, right? Right, Gareth? Yeah.
Facts.
But me and Gareth, right, we are not okay. You cannot just ask. Me and Gareth are not the best person to go to, like, and ask like how to not procrastinate. Cause yeah, really, from bottom of my heart, right, I'm pretty sure this is quite common, and yeah, just need to find a hobby in studying lah. Sometimes that's what some of my friends do. They enjoy studying, so yeah, they just like go on. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let me see if there's any more questions. Oh, okay. This is a good question. This is a new question. Group study or individual? For me, depends on different person. For me, sometimes individual because like if you want to memorize things, right? Yeah, individual studying is good because you need to like really focus on memorizing. And yeah, and if you want to do practice paper, of course, do alone. Yeah, if you don't want anyone to disturb you, like let's say like you're doing practice paper, you're doing like memorizing or work, then doing notes. Okay, notes actually is okay. Then yeah, I'll recommend you to study individually. Or group study is those times where you do tutorials because once you learn a new topic, you may have a lot of queries. And when you do tutorials together with your friends, you can ask each other like, "Hey, how do I do this? How do I do this?" You can have some like group discussions, etc. Yeah, only do group study if you're comfortable in people asking you questions because yeah, that's what group study are for, right? Yeah. Yeah. S- Mm, um, let me see if there's any more questions. Oh, how do you cope with peer pressure? Gareth, would you like to answer this question?
Um, wait, as in, sorry, I'm not really sure of your question. Peer pressure with what specifically?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Peer pressure, what? Yeah. Okay. If I assume peer pressure, meaning like if people try to drift you away from studying, okay, yeah. How do I cope with that? For me, I'm quite a disciplined person, lah. Okay. I'm quite a disciplined person. Like if I really want to get my work done, I'll get my work done. And like yeah, because the results is yours. Like how to say, you need to have a mindset like everyone have different way of studying. Some people can like just study like suddenly, like you study like 1 or 2 days before, then you score damn well in exam lah. But if you know that you can't do that, then don't do it. Then yeah, you need to know yourself. You need to know yourself. Like if you know that you need a longer time to study, then just go ahead. If not, yeah, try to be more disciplined. You'll feel like if your friends go party, go have fun, you feel like you miss out a lot of things. Because sometimes that's what I feel. Okay, like sometimes. But at the end of the day, right, the results is yours. If you score well, then yay, you're happy. You're happy. If they at the end of the day, if they don't score well, then it's their result. You try to help them. So but for me, right, I try to I peer pressure them in a good way, like in the sense like I was studying in school and then I'll be like influencing them to study together with me in school. So yeah, in a good way. Yeah. Gareth, what about you?
You should go and check the other question. I think maybe
Okay.
parameter.
In JC like academics.
Okay.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah, peer pressure
So
is always around. It's just how much willpower you have. So
oh, that's
actually,
a very good answer.
like actually, there'll always be people trying to influence you. So for me, during like the whole block of A levels, like every day after exam paper, my friends would go and play basketball. Like they won't study, they just play basketball until the next paper. Yeah, then they just repeat that cycle every day. But it's up to you whether you want to follow them or you want to
Mm,
do yourself.
yeah.
And it's you must have an end goal in mind. Like I mean,
Mm,
you can have short term fun, but if it's gonna affect your results, then why do it, right? But for them, it clearly did not affect their results. So they're not wrong for playing basketball too, but yeah, so
It's just
everything is
like
actually up to you lah. It's a solo game ah. Yeah.
yeah, different people got different way of handling things. That's what I feel. So yeah, you need to know yourself first. Know yourself. Know what you want at the end of the day. Because maybe playing maybe having fun for 1 week, right, may affect your results. You never know. Yeah, so better be safe than sorry. Yeah. So yeah, right now, right, try to get some motivation, like um try to ask yourself like, hey, why like why did I start this in the first place? What do I want at the end of the day? I want to get like 90 rank points. I want to get into this kind of course. Yeah. Know your end goal, then you can slowly um motivate yourself and try to get out of peer pressure in bad influence in JC. Yeah. But it's quite common, I must say. Because JC, like, many people have fun. I think in during my JC days, right, I have a lot of fun. Yeah. How to be disciplined? Oh, this is the last question, right? Oh, how to be disciplined? Gareth, are you a disciplined person? Okay, maybe not. Uh,
Hey, I am okay, man.
how to be
You just have
disciplined?
to be disciplined when you I don't know how to say, man. Like
Well, you need to be, yeah.
discipline comes from motivation also, lah, I would say. So if you really if you are really motivated to do something, you genuinely be disciplined because you want to work for it. Yeah. So actually you have to find your motivation first, then it naturally comes lah. I would say
Mm,
if you're talking about like academic terms and like the discipline to study, yeah, actually it's just you have to find your motivation first. Oh.
yeah. Yeah, correct. I agree with you. You need motivation to be disciplined. You need to know, as what I said, you need to know your end goal in mind. Then after you can be disciplined because you work hard for it. Yeah. You work you work hard for your goal, and yeah, automatically you become disciplined. Automatically you become like um you'll get less bad influence from your friends. And yeah. Okay, so this is the end of